Last Tuesday, newly elected Republican Senator Tim Sheehy of Montana, from Trump's own party, came out to tell the world that Iran is deceiving the president. He said on Fox News, "What we're seeing now is the rope-a-dope they usually perform, which is buying time and trying to lead us along until President Trump and his team are out of office. Then they resume their campaign," he added, in a statement that leaves no room for interpretation. "We are dealing with a regime that will not negotiate in good faith. They want you and I to be wiped off the map. Imagine the contradiction with me. A president is being accused of surrender and capitulation by one of the most prominent members of his own party. At the very same time, the book, Regime Change, by journalists Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, is published, revealing shocking behind-the-scenes details of Trump's management of the war, including leaks from the Situation Room and the president's anger over details involving maple trees. Today, we will tell you the dual story of the White House's collapse, how the Republican senator described the agreement as a dope, and how the Haberman and Swan book revealed that the chaos began from the inside before it even reached the negotiating table. Senator Sheehy announced in a television interview that Iran is stalling until Trump's term ends, hoping for a weaker president to return to the White House. He used a boxing analogy to describe Iran, the rope-a-dope, a tactic in which a fighter appears to be taking punches to exhaust the opponent, then pounces at the right moment. The irony is that Sheehy is not a Democrat, but a newly elected Republican, yet he expressed what many in the party believe, that the agreement does not protect American interests, but rather gives Iran time to rebuild its strength until Trump leaves. This concern did not come from nowhere. The memorandum signed by Trump, consisting of 14 provisions, includes an American pledge to help develop a $300 billion reconstruction fund for Iran. This figure angered conservatives, with analyst Mark Thiessen describing it as double the Marshall Plan, the program that rebuilt Europe after World War II. Days ago, the New York Times published excerpts from Haberman and Swan's new book, a book that recounts shocking internal details of the war's management. The book, officially released this week, is based on more than 1,000 interviews with senior officials. But what is most striking is that the White House suspects, Haberman and Swan, obtained audio recordings from the Situation Room, a room where recording devices are prohibited. An administration source told Axios, "We're afraid some of our most sensitive conversations were being recorded without our knowledge." The authors wrote precise details of Situation Room meetings, including a February 2025 meeting in which Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu discussed scenarios for action against Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio responded with a blunt statement. In other words, it's bullshit. But the most striking part of the book is the way Trump managed the war. Instead of focusing on military deterrence plans against the IRGC, he spent considerable time thinking about the details of purchasing maple trees for his properties. According to the book, just 17 days into the war, with 13 American service members already killed, Trump met with the authors in the Oval Office. On the Resolute desk, instead of a map of the Middle East, there were printouts of maple trees. He told them, "I'm ordering trees for the White House. I know how to buy good trees. Maples." One of the president's advisors described his crisis management style as magical thinking. According to Swan, Trump believed Iran was a paper tiger and that the war would be over quickly. He dismissed warnings from his top military advisor, General Dan Kane, warnings about the potential closure of the Strait of Hormuz. What made matters worse is that the book portrays an administration suffering from sharp divisions. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a potential candidate to succeed Trump in 2028, deliberately avoided being the face of the agreement with Iran, aware of its fragility. Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance took on the task of defending the memorandum, becoming the face of the deal, a role that placed him in direct confrontation with the conservative wing of the party. At the same time, these details were leaking. Congress was moving to restrict Trump's war powers. The Senate voted on the war powers resolution by a margin of 50 to 48, with 4 Republicans joining the Democrats. Although the resolution is not legally binding, it represents a political rebuke to the president. Senator Tim Kaine said, "Now is the perfect time for Congress to step back and ask itself, what should the next chapter be? Instead of letting one man make the decision." Republican Roger Wicker, chairman of the Armed Services Committee, described the memorandum as negotiating the victories of Operation Epic Fury in a way that is completely inconsistent with the president's goals. Let us summarize what we have learned today. First, Republican Senator Sheehy described the agreement as a dope, warning that Iran is stalling until the Trump administration leaves. Second, the Haberman and Swan book revealed internal chaos, from Situation Room leaks to Trump's preoccupation with maple trees while managing a war. Third, Rubio avoided being the face of the agreement, while Vance became became the primary target of conservative criticism. Fourth, Congress voted to restrict Trump's powers, with Republicans joining Democrats in the vote. And the question remains, how can a president convince the world of the seriousness of an agreement while his own allies in Congress admit it is a dope, and while a book reveals internal details showing he was preoccupied with maple trees while planning a war? The answer: this is precisely why America's confidence in its leadership is collapsing from the inside out. Everyone sees the truth: an administration without strategy, without trust, and without a future.
Write your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive all our new videos. See you in the next video.